What's up, Vikings Nation? Purple Faithful, get loud right now, because today's Minnesota Vikings news is the kind of announcement that changes everything. This isn't just another front office move, this is a statement about identity, culture, and where this team is headed. Lock in because this story hits deep. The Minnesota Vikings have officially announced that defensive coordinator Brian Flores has signed a contract extension. And yes, that deserves a standing ovation. This move tells the entire league one thing loud and clear. Minnesota knows exactly who they are on defense, and they're not letting that go. So stay with me because we're breaking down what this extension really means, how Flores transformed this defense from the ground up, and why this could be the foundation of something special in Minnesota for years to come. From the moment Brian Flores took over the Vikings defense back in 2023, you could feel the shift. This unit went from confused and inconsistent to disciplined, aggressive, and feared. The numbers don't lie, and the tape backs it up every single Sunday. Over his first 3 seasons, the Vikings have allowed just 19.2 points per game, the second fewest in the entire NFL. That's elite territory. Add in only 317.1 yards allowed per game and 5.1 yards per play, and you're looking at a defense that wins games, not just survives them. As a Vikings fan, this is the kind of defensive identity we've been craving. Smart pressure, tight coverage, and a relentless mentality that shows up week after week, no matter who's lined up on the other side. Let's talk about stopping the run, because that's where Flores really sets the tone. Opponents have averaged only 105.4 rushing yards per game against Minnesota during his tenure. That ranks among the best in the league. Even crazier, since 2023, the Vikings have allowed a league-low 3.9 yards per rush. That means offenses know they're in for a long day when they try to establish the ground game. That's physical football, that's discipline, that's Flores football. How long has it been since we could say the Minnesota Vikings were truly dominant against the run? This isn't a fluke. This is a system built on accountability and preparation. Now let's get to the chaos side of things, because Flores defenses don't just stop you, they take the ball away. Minnesota has forced 52 fumbles over the last 3 seasons, second most in the NFL. That's relentless pursuit and elite awareness. Add in 73 total defensive takeaways, 5th most league-wide, and suddenly you understand why opposing quarterbacks look uncomfortable against this unit. Every snap feels dangerous when you're playing the Vikings. And here's the part that should really fire you up. Only 147 plays of 20-plus yards allowed over 3 seasons. That's the fewest in the entire NFL since Flores took control. Big plays die in Minnesota. Head coach Kevin O'Connell made it crystal clear why this extension matters. He praised Flores for his unique ability to connect with players and maximize their strengths. That matters just as much as X's and O's. O'Connell talked about trust, alignment, and a shared standard, and you can see that relationship on the field every Sunday. The defense reflects Flores' leadership, but it also reflects a coaching staff that's on the same page. As a fan, you love hearing that kind of unity behind the scenes. Stability at the top leads to consistency on the field, and the Minnesota Vikings are building exactly that. To truly appreciate this extension, you have to remember where this defense was before Flores arrived. In 2022, the Vikings ranked 31st overall on defense. That's near the bottom of the league. In just 1 season, Flores lifted them to 16th, then maintained that level in 2024, before launching them all the way to 3rd overall in 2025. That kind of leap doesn't happen by accident. Allowing only 282.6 yards per game in 2025 puts Minnesota in elite company, trailing only Houston and Denver. That's not just improvement, that's transformation. The pass defense deserves its own spotlight. In 2025, the Vikings allowed just 158.5 passing yards per game, second fewest in the NFL. Only Buffalo was better, and barely. That number also marks the fewest passing yards per game allowed by a Vikings team since 1989. Let that sink in. We're talking about historic-level performance. For fans who lived through years of defensive frustration, this feels almost surreal. Quarterbacks are struggling, routes are covered, and the ball is coming out fast or not at all. Now let's talk red zone defense, because this is where games are won and lost. Minnesota allowed just 2.11 yards per play in the red zone, second best in the NFL. Even more impressive, opponents scored touchdowns on only 42.9% of their red zone trips. That's elite situational football and a testament to Flores' preparation. How many times have we seen the Vikings bend but not break this season? That's coaching, discipline, and players fully buying into the system. Flores' impact goes beyond just numbers. In 2024, he helped guide the Vikings to a 14-3 regular season record and a playoff appearance, the second most wins in franchise history. This defense led the NFL in interceptions, passes defensed, opponent fourth down conversion percentage, and interceptions per attempt. That's dominance across the board. What makes it even more impressive is that 14 defenders on the active roster were in their first season with Minnesota. That speaks volumes about coaching and adaptability. The takeaway streak in 2024 was something special. The Vikings recorded at least one takeaway in every regular season game, a franchise record. They were also the only team in the entire NFL to force a takeaway in every game that season. Consistency like that doesn't happen without elite preparation. Those 24 interceptions were 5 more than any other team in the league and tied for the second most in team history since 2000. This defense was hunting. Player development under Flores has been outstanding. 3 Vikings defenders earned Pro Bowl selections in 2025. Jonathan Greenid, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Byron Murphy Jr. Greenid finished with 12 sacks, Van Ginkel added 11.5, and both ranked among the league leaders. That pass rush has become a nightmare for offenses. Murphy's 6 interceptions tied him for third in the NFL and made him the first Vikings corner since 1998 to reach that mark. That's elite production. Van Ginkel's impact didn't stop there. He earned AP All-Pro second team honors, another sign that Flores' system allows players to shine on the biggest stage. This isn't just about stars, though. Flores gets production from everyone, from veterans to first-year players, because everyone knows their role. That's how great defenses are built, and that's why this extension matters so much for the Minnesota Vikings. Don't forget where it all started. In Flores' very first season with Minnesota, the Vikings led the NFL with 21 forced fumbles. That was the most forced fumbles in a single season in franchise history since 2007. Right away, Flores set the tone. Aggressive, physical, relentless. From day one, this defense has played with an edge, and it's become the heartbeat of this team. So Vikings fans, ask yourselves this. How confident do you feel going into every game knowing Brian Flores is still running this defense? How much does it matter that the Minnesota Vikings chose continuity, belief, and identity over uncertainty? This extension isn't just a reward. It's a commitment to a defensive standard that can win championships. The rest of the NFL is watching. Quarterbacks are studying extra film. Offensive coordinators are losing sleep. And Vikings Nation, we're sitting back knowing our defense is in elite hands. If you're excited about the future of the Minnesota Vikings defense, smash that like button right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me what Brian Flores means to this team. Don't forget to subscribe for more Minnesota Vikings news. Share this with every Vikings fan you know. And as always, Skol forever.